Hey y'all, welcome to this little bit tutorial. I've had many beers, and you'll see my face here, and that's it. Because I want to focus on the work area. If I can get the camera, there we go. Okay, so, my buddy Paul taught me how to build some pretty awesome micro coils, and I'm going to show you how to do those tonight. And have a bit of my beer. Set that off to the side, and we're going to start. Alright, so the main focus of this is rebuilding a Pro Tank or an EVOD head with a micro coil. So I'm going to start off with this. I've tried 32 gauge, I've tried 30 gauge, nothing more, nothing less. If it's too thick, it's not going to work because it's not going to fit under the little rubber gasket, these things right here. Not going to fit. So we're going to start with a bit of Canthol, if I can find the end here. Not going to need a whole lot. This will be a complicated process. So start by clipping off maybe 4 or 5 inches here. If I can get it. There we go. Set the rest of my wire aside. And we've got this guy right here. A little tiny bit of Canthol. Now, it's a pretty springy kind of wire. We want to start off by torching it. And the best thing I have to torch it with is this. This here is a propane torch. Don't use them in your living room like I'm about to, because, well, it's stupid. But I do stupid stuff all the time. As long as I don't burn the house down, all is good. We take our torch, screw it into the tank carefully. Make sure you use these in very well ventilated areas because they are combustible and all that other fancy shit. So, here we go. Bombs away. See the torch is lit, and we heat up the Canthol. So it gets red hot. We're going to turn that over, grab the other side. Okay, if you lose your wire, make sure you turn that off. Missing wire found. We need to finish torching the other side. Set our torch aside. Okay, so I went from a really springy wire to a very rigid wire. So now what we want to do is take a break. Okay, now I have a very fancy little jeweler's screw here and my piece of oxidized Canthol 30 gauge A1. Pretty standard. So what I do first is I do it from your angle, sort of. That won't work. Okay, reverse it. I grip it with my thumb at the very tip, right on the base of the screwdriver. Make sure you leave enough room for leads, aka frog legs, and you pull it over your drill bit, your screwdriver, whatever, and make very tight, close wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you could do 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going as far as you want. But I want to have a lower resistance microcoil. I want to get about 1.5, 1.6 ohms out of this. And what I've heard with the microcoils is if it's 1.6, it'll be half that. So if you cut 16 and a half, you get 8. So that'll be a 0.8. That's what I'm going for. So right now you can see I have a pretty messy coil. It's not coming into focus at all. That sucks. But it's pretty messy. So I'm going to grab my pliers and continue. Okay, after much searching, I found a pair of tweezers, or sorry, pliers. It's my Leatherman. It's a kick. Yeah. Either way, any kind of pliers will work, as long as you don't mind torching the shit out of them. So I take my springy coil that I just built, and I'm going to compress it, just like squeezing a spring together with my pliers. And I'm going to get them just close enough. Oh. You don't want to overdo this. Just get them to where they're touching. And the nice thing about the Leatherman is that it's almost spring-loaded, so you can, it's very little give, but it'll hold. So now we take our torch again. Again, don't do this in your house, unless you're stupid like me. Torch the fucking piss out of the coil. Seriously, don't do this in your house. If my wife knew I was doing this right now, she would kill me. I'm surprised she didn't wake up to that. Okay, so now set your pliers down, they're hot. And we look at our coil. It's looking pretty damn good. Okay, I'm going to grab my rebuild tools and I'll be right back. Okay, because this part of the video would take literally 20 some minutes. This isn't the same coil I just showed you how to make, but I made it the same way. And if you have any idea how to rebuild a Pro Tank coil, you do the same process, except for you do what I just did. You torch the shit out of it, compress, to keep those coils tightly together. And you get a nice micro coil. I'll just show you how they fire. Just to reiterate what I just said, seriously, if you need to know how to build a Pro Tank or an EVOD coil, there's tons of YouTube videos. I was just showing you a very simple way to build a micro coil that'll fit in the cup of a Pro Tank. Now this is a Pro Tank head set in an EVOD base. Hell, it's not even a real EVOD base. It's a knockoff from Fastech. Go Fastech. The prices are unbeatable. Got that beauty from there too. Awesome Pro Tank style. Okay, so I just got done totally, as you saw in the previous segment, disassembling my RG500 Pro Tank style. Massive, awesome 5 milliliter bottom coil clear-miser tank. All over my lap, all over my couch, on the floor. Just spent the last 10 minutes cleaning it up. As with anything, make sure you're unscrewing from the base, not the top. Otherwise, you're going to be fucked. Like I just was. So, anyways, back to where we were. I have a fully assembled micro coil in a Pro Tank / EVOD base. And I'm going to redo this, because that was the whole idea, was to unscrew the tank from my Inokin I Taste SVD here. And what I'm running at right now is not particularly important, because we're just going to test it. So we take our rebuilt Pro Tank head / EVOD / you name it, bottom coil clear-miser universal thing, and we start with this. Let's check the resistance. Okay, it's hard to see maybe, but it's reading at 3 ohms. A little high, but it is a microcoil, so even at 3 ohms it'll run like a 1.5 ohm single coil standard kind of deal. So now we'll fire her up. Okay, so I'm going to look at this. You won't see this so well, but if you look, it does fire from the center and then spreads out. And that's what you're looking for in a microcoil. That's how you find hot spots and cold spots. You want it to heat up from the center and cool down to the center. That means you have a good microcoil base. So since it looks good, I'm not going to show you how to wick one of these. You can look that up on YouTube as well. Very simple procedure. Once you have it wicked, prime it with juice, reassemble the whole thing, throw it on your favorite mechanical or pulse width modulation device type thing, like an SVD, or go with your Provari if that's your liking, and then work your way up until you find the perfect vape. And let's give this a try. This one's at 1.8 ohms, very similar to this one, maybe a one less wrap, literally. That's the difference between that. You get such a big jump in resistance from one single wrap. It's a nice vape. And it sure kicks the shit out of any other coil I've made before. I've used standard, just a jeweler screw, wrapping it around without compressing and heating the coil to maintain rigidity. I'm done with that. This propane torch is my new best friend. My wife had mentioned something about crackheads use these to make like crack pipes and shit. Well, cool. I hope they all bust us for trying to build awesome coils for our e-cigs, because that's the best use for these things, other than, you know, making brass fittings for household plumbing fit correctly. That and, you know, they're fine. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next video.